Hi guys, let's go ahead and run an independent samples t-test using SPSS. So we're going to use an example that we used in class. It's going to be a different data set, but it's going to be very similar. So we're going to compare two groups for our independent samples t-test, right? So one group of people get a $10, get a wine, and we tell them that it's $10. And then the second group of people get a wine, and we tell them it's $90. The caveat here is that the two wine bottles are actually the same wine bottles, but we're putting in two different groups by telling them that one is worth $10 and the other is worth $90. We want to see, based on their rating of each type of wine, whether or not telling them how much the wine costs affects how much they rate the wine. So we're going to run an independent samples t-test to see if this data is statistically significant. So I've set up our data right now on SPSS. My first row variable is going to be ID. It's going to be a numeric, 0 decimals. It's just going to be an ID of label of the participants. No values, no missing numbers, columns, line, everything is fine. And the measure is going to be ordinal. For your second variable, we're going to do wine type. So this is based on whether or not they get told that it's a $10 wine or they get told that it's a $90 wine. So again, 0 decimals, we're using whole numbers. In the value section, so we're going to do something a little bit different than what we've done. So go ahead and click on like the right corner of the cell. This thing should pop up saying value laters. You want to go ahead and do 1 and then do, for example, $10 wine, and then hit add. Afterwards, go ahead and switch this up and do 2, and then put in $90 wine, and then hit add. So after you do that, you should be able to see in this box that 1 is equal to a $10 wine and 2 is equal to $90 wine. And we do this when I add in the data set. I'll show you guys what this looks like. Go ahead and hit OK once you see those two values added. This is a scale measure, so make sure it's like that. And then rating, 0 decimals, no values in particular, and then this is scale measure as well. Okay, so if you want to take a minute to make sure that your data is set up correctly, go ahead and pause the video. Otherwise, I'm going to keep going. Okay, switching over to data view. So I've just listed 8 participants, so 1 through 8. My second column is going to be the wine type. So as you guys can see, I have that 1 and 2. So my first 4 participants are going to receive the $10 condition, and then my last 4 participants are going to receive the $90 condition. So that's just what 1 and 2 means. Then for my rating column, here's the data set for what you would need to put in. So essentially, this is the rating out of 10 that people have given if they are in the $10 wine condition. Here's the rating that people have given if they are in the $90 wine condition. Okay, so take a minute, enter the data, and then we can run the test. So to run the test, you want to go to Analyze, Compare Means, Independent Samples, t-test. Once this pops up, you want to go ahead and add this right here, which is your rating variable, into the test variable box. Then you want to move the wine type variable, which is your grouping variable. So your grouping variable will be anything that groups from each other, right? So in this case, it's $10 versus $90. And then your test variable is going to be the actual dependent variable that you're measuring. Okay, so that's how you know which one to put in where. So take the wine type and then move that into the grouping variable. You can see that there's like these question marks here, so we want to click this button that says Define Groups. And then it's just, you can use specified values. I'm just going to leave it as the standard as 1 and 2. Okay, and then I'm going to hit Continue, and then I'm going to hit OK. So now you can see your output table nicely put out here. And you can look at, from the top, how many n's there were for each condition, their means, the standard deviation, standard error, based on their data. Then right here, you can see your output for the samples t-test. You got your F value, your T value, degrees of freedom, your significance, your mean difference, your confidence intervals, and everything. From this test, we can look at this column, the significance two-tailed. We see that significance is less than 0.001. So if we take p is less than 0.05 into consideration for statistical significance, we would show that there is a significance in terms of rating depending on what value the wine is given to the condition of participants. Okay, so this is how you run your independent samples t-test.